Hey guys, it's Malone. I'm back with another video. Alright, so this video that I'm doing today, I got an idea from another YouTuber's channel, like we all do. Alright, so basically I'm gonna be letting y'all know about all the jobs I've had. Yeah, let's get into it.
I'm prolific, so gifted. I'm the type that's gon' go get it.
Alright, so my first job ever was summer youth, of course. I was 14 years old and I was working for NYCHA. So basically what NYCHA is it stands for the New York City Housing Authority. And basically like they clean up the neighborhoods, and they had us doing that. They had like some 14-year-olds that wanted to make money doing that. Like during the summer, we had our little working papers and everything, and we was dead like doing summer youth. Like basically we would like clean up parks and like pick up litter on the ground and like under the benches and on the playgrounds and in the neighborhood. And when it wasn't like a lot of things, like a lot of litter in this particular neighborhood, they would have us like go to apartments, like vacant apartments, and like clean them out and stuff like that, just preparing for the next people to move in and things like that. We didn't really do that often, but I remember being in a building and being in an apartment that was vacant, and a lot of the guys, like employees, like moving stuff out and stuff like that. The girls were kind of just like holding doors and stuff, like whatever. But it was cool or whatever. But yeah, and we got our little summer youth check every 2 weeks, and that was like it really. We had to wear these little light blue shirts exposing who we work for. It was just like whatever. But yeah, so that was my first job like ever. So then I did summer youth for like a few years actually. And basically what it is like a lottery too. So basically like everybody that applies doesn't get chosen. And basically like if you apply on time, they put your name in a lottery, and then if you get chose, you basically prove that you can work, have your working papers, this, that, and third, and then you start working summer youth. It usually is like from July to August. So just like 8 weeks or whatever. So just a little side, little income, whatever like that. So 14 I started working, yes. And then I did it every year until I was able to like really get like an official job without working papers. And I wasn't working for NYCHA. I think I worked for NYCHA like twice, like 2 summers in a row. And then after that I was doing counseling. I had a counseling position for P.A.L, which stands for Police Athletic League. And here in New York, that's really popular for, you know, supporting young kids, making sure they stay off the streets, getting them involved in like after school programs and sports and activities and things of that nature. So I was so me and my sister was actually counselors in a park. And basically we used to just come every morning, open up the park. You know how some parks have like houses, like park houses in the middle of the park, and basically in the park house it has like a storage room with like games and this and that, knickknacks and stuff, and then it's like bathrooms on each side. So basically we were stationed at this one park every day for the whole summer, and we had a supervisor who was actually not that much older than us, and we just used to go there every morning, open up the park, and wait for the kids to come. And you know, we used to like play games with them, play basketball, teach them dance moves. One time we even like took them on like a field trip to this like dance competition that was in like another borough. We took them on a train, like some of their parents was there. Like it was just really fun. Like that job I really enjoyed. So that was also summer youth. And I think we did that for like, I want to say a year or 2 years even. And then that was it for summer youth. So that's basically like 4 years I did summer youth until I was like 18, like I said, until I could get like a real a job where I didn't need working papers. And then, so I think when I had turned like, maybe I was actually like 17 when I started this job, because I remember I was still in high school, and I would always want to stay at work to make more money, and I couldn't, because I couldn't go over a certain amount of hours. And they used to say, oh, we need you on the weekend, so just like come in on Thursday and like only work 2 hours or only work 4 hours, because we really need you on the weekend, like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we really need you. Like, and I used to want to stay during the week longer, and they was like, we really can't, we could get in trouble, like if you work more than, I think it was like more than 25 hours a week or something like that. So yeah, so this job was Fairway Supermarket. So yeah, before working here I never really heard about this. I really never heard of this supermarket, but it's like a really, really big supermarket, and it's really cool, really nice. They have like a lot of stuff or whatever, and it's nice. Like I really liked working there. It's not like your average supermarket, honestly. Basically my cousin was working there at the time, and I feel like people, like, they knew that she was my cousin, and that's another reason why they was like, oh yeah, like we could use the extra help, like a few hours a week, like she's underage, so we can't really give her a full-time schedule. And I started working there. I was a cashier. Yeah, so you know, when I do my little self-checkout nowadays, like I be going through it, tick 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 tick, whatever, like that. Like basically it's all in a barcode. So yeah, so basically that was another job that I had, and I didn't work there for too long. I want to say I worked there for like, I want to say a little less than a year, maybe like 6 months, honestly, because it did take a toll on my travel, because I had to travel to get there. And sometimes like I would have to travel after school and take the bus and take the train, and I would have to travel like at least like 2 hours to get there, and then I would work, and then I would have to come home late too. So it was just like and then I had school the next day. Mind you, I was still in high school, so my mom kind of like had a little problem with that. Like, I don't mind you making money, but like this is ridiculous, like you're coming home really late and this and that, whatever. So it started to take a toll on school. So I kind of just wanted to finish school and then, you know, get on with my life. So I wound up quitting, and let's see, the next job, what was my next job after Fairway? Oh, okay, so my next job after Fairway was, I wanted to look for something closer to my house so that I could still like continue like the last few months of high school and work and make some money. So basically I was looking for something next to my house, and I actually found this restaurant named Applebee's. Yeah, so I worked at Applebee's. By now I was like 18. I worked at Applebee's, so I didn't need working papers or anything. I remember applying, and then they called me in. Actually, did I interview? I feel like, yeah, I did interview. They called me in for an interview. And then the general manager that interviewed me, he liked me off the rip. And then he was just like, oh, come in tonight for, to like meet the girls and to see, you know, how you like it. See if this is something that you really want to do. I know that you're young and you're like just finishing high school. So I just want to make sure that like this is something that you're interested in and you're serious about. I don't want to just like have you work here and then it's just like, oh, like you just never come back, you know. So by now I was 18, and I was like, I feel like this was like going into the summertime, so I was basically like just finishing up high school. No, I'm lying, I was turning 18. And so I started working there a little before I turned 18, and then I finished high school, and then in June, and then in August I turned 18. So I was working there for like 2 months, like while I was 17, which wasn't a problem, whatever, because he wasn't really giving me hours like that anyway in the beginning. And then when the summertime came, like that's when the hours really started kicking in, because the business was like really busy, like a lot of people coming out to eat and this and that there. I started off as a hostess, and yeah, I feel like he did that on purpose, but anyway, I started off as a hostess at Applebee's, and everything was cool. I liked the girls, like it was cool or whatever. It was like always like 3 or 4 of us on like a Friday night. It was like really cool. Like I really enjoyed it. I met a lot of people. People like got upset because of the wait time. Like it was just a lot of different things that you really experience with working in a restaurant business. So after being a hostess for like, how long was that hostess? After being a hostess for like maybe a year, like I don't even remember being a hostess for a year, honestly. But after being a hostess for like a year, I was asked to be made a server. Like they offered me a server position. They was like, oh, we want to start training you, da 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 da. And then at that point, all the hostesses wanted to be a server. So it was kind of like, okay, yeah. So basically it came down to, oh, who was here first, since everybody was fighting to be a server, and now that I was offered a position. So it was only fair that they basically take the people that was there first over because seniority and make them servers first. So it was like 2 girls that was there before me. I had to wait for them to be done training. I had to wait for them to hire new hostesses. So it took a little while for me to become a server. But while I was waiting to become a server, I actually like used to talk to the bartenders and ask them questions and kind of like learn different things, and if it's worth being a bartender, do you like being a bartender, and this and the third. So yeah, so basically I just started gaining knowledge on bartending while I was transitioning to be a server, because I knew, like, you know, I was interested in bartending. Like, why not? Like, that's the next step up after server. So then I finally became a server, and I had already knew a lot about bartending at that time, because I had like actually took home drink menus and things of that nature to learn recipes and barcodes and bar sanitation and, you know, just things like that. So I moved up pretty quickly. Eventually I was serving and bartending. Like some shifts I would bartend, some shifts I would serve, and like that was that. So I basically worked there for like almost 11 years, not at that one location, but I worked for Applebee's for like 11 years, and then I did have other jobs in between working for Applebee's, and I was also going to school. So after high school I went to college. I went to community college. Then after community college I continued schooling. You know, I never maybe took little breaks here and there with school, but other than that I was always like working at Applebee's, whether it was part-time, full-time, whatever the case was. I was always in school, and I always had like a little side job or something like that. So basically, like, some of my other side jobs was this private school that I worked for. I was a teacher assistant. I went to get my certification for it. That's when I thought I wanted to be a teacher. Yeah, I was in school for education. I had a whole major of education. Yeah, didn't work out too well. I just didn't agree with a lot of the things with the school system. No offense to anyone, but yeah. So that didn't work out too long. I actually quit that job as well. Monday through Friday, I worked at the school. Monday through Wednesday, after I left the school job, I went to school, to college, to learn. So I was in night school Monday through Wednesday, after work, all right? And then Thursday through Sunday, Thursday and Friday, I did Applebee's after school, after leaving the school. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I did Applebee's. Like all day long, like 12-hour shifts, 8-hour shifts, volume shifts. If you know, you know. But anyway, yeah, so I had like a busy schedule, like a really busy schedule. I was always making money, always here, always there, this, that, and the third. Like, it was a lot. Now thinking about it, it's just like, wow. So yeah, I was always on a move. So basically, I left the school because I had got into it. I had got my class changed. They needed help in another class, so they changed my class. I wasn't really comfortable with that, but I just dealt with it. And then I didn't like how this teacher had handled a child, and I brought it to the supervisor's attention, and she kind of like was on the teacher's side, I guess, because the teacher was there for many years. So she kind of took the teacher's side. So I kind of felt the way about that, and I just didn't agree with how they were treating people's children. So with that being said, I just quit. I didn't want to start any trouble. I didn't want to report anyone or anything like that. So I just quit and I just went about my business. So now after the private school, I started working at TGI Fridays. And while I was working at TGI Fridays, I was also working at Applebee's. I started working at TGI Fridays because it was actually like in competition with Applebee's. And at that time, I was looking to, I'm gonna be honest, I was looking to leave Applebee's because it was just a lot of changes being made, a lot of managers being hired that I didn't agree with, a lot of things going on that was not fair. And then they were fighting to see if they wanted to get a union involved or not. And then they were having employees vote. Like, it was a lot going on with Applebee's at that time. So I kind of just wanted to transition, but I still wanted to be in the restaurant business because that fast money, that cash, like, I was just so used to that. So I started working at TGI Fridays. That really didn't last long. The training there was crazy. It was like a week, 2 weeks on the computer training. Like, it's just like, what the heck? So, yeah, I didn't really work there too long. I feel like I worked there for like maybe less than a month. And then I was just like, yeah, this is not going to work for me. There literally was like no structure. Like, I'm so used to like management. Like, if I'm not a supervisor or a manager, like, I'm so used to like, okay, this is your job title, do this when you come in, this is the checklist, check this, temperatures, blah, 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 blah. Everything is like nice and what's the word that I'm looking for? Like, everything is on a schedule and everything is like processed in a row. Like, this is what goes with this falls into place, this. So that's what I was used to, especially working at schools and coming from Applebee's. So when I started working at TGI Fridays and there was like no structure, it was just like, okay, everything's all over the place. Like, I cannot make money like that in that headspace. Like, people arguing, people doing what they want. This one has a manager card. This one is late. This one is not here. Like, it was just a lot. So I didn't stay there long. And then after TGI Fridays, where did I work? I worked at a hospital. I volunteered for a hospital. I was there for like 7-8 months. And actually one of my homegirls that I met at Applebee's, that I was cool with at Applebee's, she actually ran the volunteer department. So that was cool or whatever. Alright, so after Fridays, I started just trying to pick up like little jobs here and there, like especially restaurant jobs, just to see if I could transition out of Applebee's. And by this time, I was already at Applebee's for maybe like 8 years. So I just wanted to kind of like transition out. Mind you, I was still in school. By this time, I had my associate's degree. I was going for my bachelor's. Like, so basically, I was just trying to find something to do until I received my bachelor's degree, or until I figured out what I was going to do ongoing with school, if I was going to get any more certifications and things like that, taking any state exams. I started taking like little state exams and things like that, government exams for careers. And I started working at this Caribbean restaurant. It was pretty cool. It was a lot. I didn't really work there long either because at the time I didn't really have much availability, and they really wanted me to like move up and like have like a lot of availability. Like, they wanted me to have at least 5 days availability with weekends strictly, like you're there all day. Like, and I didn't feel comfortable just violating Applebee's like that and just dipping. So I kind of like was like, no, this is my schedule. Like, either y'all gonna have to deal with it or like kind of don't, because like I'm not just gonna violate someone, like a business that I've been working for this many years. And you know, like, I just didn't want to do that. And another thing I want to put out there with Applebee's, I actually didn't move up. Like, after becoming after doing hostess, server, bartender, I didn't move up to supervisor or manager, because a lot of managers that worked there wanted to be servers, because the servers was making so much money and managers were on salary and they was not making anything at all. So when they offered me to become a manager, the multiple times that the GM offered me to, like, I was just like, So I was just like pushing him, like holding, like pushing him off, like, oh yeah, I'll think about it, never get back to him, like little things like that, you know. So like I was just making money, like it was fast life type stuff, you know. And especially when a manager wants to be in your position, why would you want to move up to be a manager? Like, that's just silly. So no, I was just like, no. So basically I worked at the Caribbean restaurant for, I would say, maybe like a month. And it was during the summertime too, and at that point I just wanted to have fun. I wanted to enjoy my summer on top of still being in school and working. I wanted to make money and I wanted to enjoy my summer, you know, because I was at that age where I'm just like, you know, I'm young. I've been working like a lot, like for the past few years, like not having summer's flying by. And I was just like, yeah, I just want to enjoy my summer, so I really can't give you guys 5 days a week right now. So they had a problem with that, so I wound up leaving. So I continued to work at Applebee's. And then I had actually changed locations, went to a busier location. So I was working at that Applebee's location for a while. And then once it started to slow down after the summer was over, I was just like, okay, like I think Applebee's is like, I think I'm done with Applebee's. Like I just need to find something that I really like until I get like more towards my major kind of. And I just wanted to do like a volunteer work towards my major, put in some hours, like so that when I do get my degree, like I could just, like, I already have my foot in the door, I already know people, whatever like that. So I actually started working at a home health agency. Yeah, and that was cool. The people there were very nice. It was mostly like, I would say like 99% was female, so it was a lot of like drama, a lot of whispering, talking, this, that, and the third. But me, I'm just like in my own little world. I'm cool with everybody, so I made friends here, made friends here. These people had beef, I was friends with both of them, like type stuff like that, you know. So that was cool or whatever. I worked there for, I would say like 8 months, and then that's when I left. I really did not want to leave, honestly, but because that was like a really amazing job. Like I really liked that job. I liked my supervisors, I liked my bosses. Like I had learned my position so well that people was like calling on me for certain things, and I just liked that. Just liked holding that power, like yeah, like I'm the lady for the job, like, you know. So I really liked it there. But I actually left because I had got a job offering in another state, so I left for that, which sometimes I wish that I hadn't. Not saying that I have any regrets in life, but sometimes I just really wish that I hadn't done that. But yeah, I did that, unfortunately, and it honestly wound up not working out in with the job in the other state. After like 6 months, it was just like I was told a lot of like promises that people didn't keep, and it was just like all over the place. I guess the person that ran the business thought that the business was going to be thriving by a certain time. I was promised like to move up quickly and, you know, things like that, and it honestly didn't happen that way at all, and the business didn't thrive at all that I know of. And I was there for like 6 months, so it was just like, yeah, this is not gonna work. So that happened, whatever, and then that was really it. So I basically moved back, and now I'm like working hard to kind of like get into like I'm working on a few different things right now. I'm working on NYPD, and I'm also working with Customs and Border, only because that is my area of major. So I literally like need to get in somewhere in there. So I'm working on a bunch of different things to see who offers what and what I can get into quicker and what I get qualified for and this and that and third. So I'm going through the process of both right now, and then when I have to, then I'll just choose. But yeah, so that's basically it. All my jobs. I wasn't counting. Y'all count if y'all can. Go back, watch it again if you gotta count that way. Yeah, so let me know what y'all think about it. Let me know how many jobs you guys have had in the comment section. Subscribe if you're any new subscribers. Nice to meet you guys. You know, so that's really it. Like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.